Alright, let's head into the Foundry and prevent it from blowing up and killing us.
Yeah, the Lost in Foundry. Okay, that pun was not even a pun.
So I did get a little bit, go a little bit further with the editing this time. Just a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
Not in this part, but in this playthrough, I flexed some more editing muscles.
I'm measuring your combat effectiveness. I have added a tracker to your helmet's display.
Alright, kill enemies. It fills up those circles at the top. You get weapon points.
Unless the demonic threat level is brought down inside the Foundry, our security systems cannot be overridden.
Well, that just seems like a bad oversight. But I guess...
Well, I mean, it means that they also couldn't be hijacked by Olivia Pierce, at least not all of them.
That's true.
They had more things that she couldn't override, then things might not have gone this bad.
Yeah, that's true.
So the game starts off with a couple of missions that are fairly open-ended. You know, you can... the maps are fairly non-linear, and there are objectives that you just sort of do when you want to. And then after a little bit, those kind of disappear. And then there aren't really any in Doom Eternal or its DLC. Very interesting.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that guy can damage you, right? If he blows up near you?
Yeah, he'll rush at you and try and blow up, but I'm not sure if it's ever worked on me. You just hit him and he flies off and blows up.
Darn.
What's this?
Oh, gosh.
And this is where the game channels its Doom 3 a little bit.
That Hell Knight walks like an
actually
elite.
Oh, yeah. There's actually quite a bit of Doom 3 influence here that mostly disappeared by the time Eternal came about. Because, like, the Hell Knight with his eyeless appearance, which I've always preferred over Eternal giving them eyes.
Yeah, no. The no eyes is definitely a good look for them. You know, it's funny. Seeing all this melting, what I assume, ore, reminds me of my brief hyperfixation on melting metal in my backyard like a jackass. But one thing you don't think about, metal's just as heavy if it's in liquid or solid form.
Yeah. The only liquid we typically deal with is water and things that are just sort of mixed into or suspended in water, so we tend to think of liquid as all liquid is just different waters.
Yeah, that's the cursed part about lava. You would not fall into lava like a big splash. You just hit it like you're hitting a rock, because you are.
I mean, I imagine it's so viscous that it just doesn't move aside. It's definitely not as hard as a rock, but it's close. I think this game gets a nice middle ground on the grabbable ledges. It marks the ones that it recommends you do with green lights, but those aren't the only ones that you can do.
Oh, I see.
In contrast to, say, Prime 3, where it's like, you can only pull up on these specific green glowing ledges.
Yeah. Reminds me... Oh, wait. Did you mention Metroid Prime 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I hated that. It made that upgrade feel very pointless. Like, it was too situational to be good.
Which one?
Oh, just the ability to... The little get-up flippy move in Prime 3. Just...
was that an upgrade, or was that just an inherent ability?
I think it was an upgrade.
Huh.
I could be
I'm
wrong.
thinking it's the other way around.
I'm hoping that's
Or
true. Because otherwise that's stupid. Like, I think it might have been part of the screw attacks functionality. I could be wrong. I only played through the game
I
once.
don't think so. I think there's at least a couple ledges before you get the screw attack.
Okay.
Demonic threat reduced by 25%.
It doesn't matter what game, the ragdoll clipping through the ground and moving around constantly sound is universal.
Yeah. Although the one I think the most about is probably... like some Source game does that. Like, oh, probably Portal? I don't know. There's like a certain sound.
Or Half-Life?
Yeah, it might be... Yeah, I think I'm so used to seeing it as a shit post in in Source Filmmaker that my brain just associates it with Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, I mean, heck knows there's enough fan videos of TF2 to choke a horse.
Yeah. Speaking of horse, it reminds me of my favorite version of clipping through the ground in Skyrim. How, because they have two grounds on top of each other, like, the idea is your wagon gets, like, it keeps trying to get pushed up by the bottom floor, but pushed down by the top floor. And that just causes a runaway chaining effect of acceleration, causing it to take off like a rocket with horse in tow with terrible ragdoll physics.
Even though I've never played Skyrim, I've seen that. I know that cart and horse
It's so
bug.
good.
I've seen that before.
Yep. It can happen in the opening cutscene when you have no control. It's great. But yeah, some games would not be themselves without those glitches, I hate to say.
Which is fine. I just very much dislike that mentality because it leads to companies being like, well, it's okay if we have bugs. It's all part of the experience.
It only works for legacy games like Skate 3 or Skyrim.
And it only works if the game itself is already good and the bugs
Yeah.
don't detract from it too much.
Right. And if a game is good enough that the bug becomes a feature, you can tell. It's pretty obvious it's going to be a feature.
Demonic threat reduced
But yeah.
by 50%.
Speaking of bugs, we will be seeing at least one a little bit later. That I have seen numerous times on the PC version. In fact, I'm not entirely sure that I've ever not seen it.
Oh man, even though we couldn't hear it, reading that subtitles is great.
No, wait, go back. I spend a while in this labyrinth trying to find the secret room. This place is just a little bit confusing, and the way through is
How
back there.
in the
so.
world? You like touched him with the thing and it died.
Yeah, so they try to do the chainsaw kills are technically classified as glory kills, but if you get into a situation that's just a little bit off, and it's like, well, you know, the demon's in the middle of climbing a ledge, the demon just dies, and
Okay.
you don't get an animation.
Still takes a pip though, right?
Yep.
But yeah, the human resources joke in this game. This place, of all workplaces, takes the literal approach to human resources, I would say. Macabre.
Oh yes, especially with the Revenant program.
Oh, gosh. Like, how did Samuel Hayden not know what was going on? There was some sketchy stuff going on before this went down. Like,
Oh, he knew what was going on. He just figured that it was worth it if it meant that they got Argent Energy.
he was
and
like, how
he
close...
just-
yeah. How close
Yeah,
can we
he-
fly to the sun without our wax wings burning, basically?
And I mean, holding on to Doomguy was his insurance policy in case things went too far.
Right.
And he did overestimate Olivia's ability to resist the demon.
So, cut out a little wandering there?
Yeah, I kept trying to find it, but I don't find it until later, so I just said, whatever, I'll move on.
So, would you like if this game had lock-on like Metroid Prime?
It doesn't need it, no. It's a very different kind of game. Like, the lock-on for Metroid Prime is very much based around Prime's all-purpose arm cannon and the charge shot. And this game is about having different guns that fulfill different purposes in the combat.
I guess the one situation I'd see it being really handy is those shield enemies to be able to orbit around them quickly. But I guess that just takes skill.
I mean, you can already circle strafe.
Okay.
The lock-on largely comes from, well, the fact that the original GameCube games, they didn't have dual analog, but also the fact that the power beam, your arm cannon, it's not hit scan. Shots take a while to find their target.
Right. It is very arcadey in that way. Oh, I didn't realize that actually stunned them. That's handy.
Well, yeah, it's the stun bomb.
Oh, I was used to the other one. The venting, I think?
Yeah, no, that's that heat blast. Yeah, I got the stun bomb and not the heat blast. Specifically, like I said before, it helps with bigger guys in the early game.
Right. I did the young child's mentality for Pokemon. And what moves to learn, where if it wasn't like just direct damage, I pretty much ignored it.
Yeah, I mean, it very much, the early game in Pokemon reinforces that, because a lot of early status effect moves aren't very good.
Not to mention potentially flat out brokenly programmed.
Yeah, for us who grew up playing Gen 1, I mean, that was me, the game is held together with duct tape, so
yeah,
you get a couple of moves that are just not very good. I think Dragon Fury or Dragon Rage in Pokemon Gen 1 was just outright broken.
Yeah. Like, there's a couple things where it's like, oh, what is it? It's like something about, like, this move is supposed to critical hit every time, but because of the way it's programmed, it can never critical hit or something. Like, stuff like that.
Something like that.
Like, where basically a bit gets flipped situation. Or that's, I mean, in the early days of programming, it was really easy to accidentally make your function do stuff like that if you weren't careful. Man. I suddenly want to eat rice checks really bad.
So that wall back there that I shot, that is in the actual Doom 1.
Nice.
You shoot that wall and it opens up a secret.
Mm-hmm.
I have traversed this maze so many times. This is from the second level.
Nice. Speaking of Chex Quest, what are your thoughts on it?
Chex Quest is great. I mean, I hesitate to say that there has ever been a better video game packaged into a cereal box. And then the original Chex Quest 2 was obviously rushed, but then they made Chex Quest 3 for real and cleaned up Chex Quest 2 as a part of it. Chex Quest 3 is basically a trilogy release.
That room looked weird.
And Chex Quest HD is disappointing, but it's free, so I can't complain. And no, it's not because of the graphics, it's because of the level design. It very much does not take after Doom level design, nor after this game, for that matter.
And Bob's your uncle. Ooh.
I try to go for unique glory kills whenever I can, some of the less common ones. Because the front and center glory kill you see a lot on pretty much everything.
I love what this codex says.
Specifically about Hayden.
Yeah, specifically about the fact that they're like, why did you decide to put your brain into the like a 9-foot tall robot body? Because it's cool.
I mean, it sends a message. Another codex says that when he turned on the Argent Energy for the first time, it was like a 15-foot tall lever that weighed like 600 pounds, and it sends a very clear message. He's the only one that can get the power running.
Yeah. Samuel Hayden is the Walt Disney of Doom Guy's time. No,
He is
that's not
Disney
fair to-
if Disney lived like a decade longer.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because that's not probably that far off. Although I think that's not giving old Hayden enough room, because he might have been kind of a mad scientist, but he wasn't a weirdo. He just got a little carried away. Goo. I wonder what the Gore Nest tastes like, asking for a friend.
Like raw meat.
Oh, I didn't want to think about it, and now I did. That's a decent range on it. You ever get to the point where you actually count out how many shots it takes to stagger at a certain enemy with a certain weapon?
Count, no, but I do have an intuitive sense for it most of the time, after all the times I've played this.
Mm-hmm.
And the stun bomb it's a bomb. It fires like the grenade launcher.
Yeah,
so.
that was a nice AoE. I probably got to that point with the super shotgun just because it was so reliably the only thing I pretty much used most of the time. I still haven't gotten the grappling hook thing, or the whatever hook thing that goes with it in Doom Eternal, but I bet that's going to be fun. Although I haven't gotten the super shotgun either, come to think of it. I'm only on level... I think the last one I did was the weird medieval castle place. The Valhalla-like place. I don't know.
I think that might have been level 2.
Man, those levels are long. At least they feel longer.
Eternal's levels are quite meaty, yes. Although the DLC levels get even longer.
No.
There's only 3 per DLC, though.
Okay. So the two of them together pretty much make up a full game. Although I don't know how many.
Practically, I mean, six levels, and a lot of them feel like the length of 2 regular ones. So
I don't actually know how long Doom Eternal is by itself. I mean, there's so many battery slots. I can't imagine.
I mean, it's not like there's only 1 battery per level, but yeah.
Right. First thing I'm unlocking when I have enough is the original Praetor suit. I hate to say it, I really like it in this game. I don't love the exposed skin look of the classic version.
He's certainly bulked up since
Yeah.
between 2016 and Eternal.
Demonic presence reduced to minimum safe levels. Lockdown. Disengaged.
Whoa, not 0.
Turbine will
Safe enough.
All right, we can go through the through there to the next part of the level, but we're gonna do a little cleanup.
Nice.
Forgot this part since I was in this
Yeah,
area,
baby.
but I was still fighting.
As somebody who's tried to do that with a glass, it is, you can't do it.
Oh,
You probably
I remember
shouldn't
I
either.
had an old Christmas ornament that we were just gonna throw away, and I crushed it in my hand, and I got a lot of cuts in that
no.
hand. I had to pick out a lot of little fragments. I was like, you know, that was pretty dumb of me.
Wait, when did you do this?
Oh, I was like 12.
Okay. I've done stupid things like that too.
Here we go. This is it.
Hey, what was that? What gun was that?
Right here.
Oh, rocket launcher.
Yep.
Rocket launcher.
This is the earliest point you can get it.
I want a game where there's a chair, lawn chair that has rockets on it. Oh, I died
It's quite telling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that jump is a little sketchy. It's quite telling that they got the rocket launcher pretty much exactly right, correct right off the bat in this game, because in Eternal, they do not change its add-ons, its mods at all. Like every other weapon, there's at least something that changes. No, this is pretty much exactly the same.
I kind of wish the pistol was still in Eternal, just for the fun. Like, only pistol runs were kind of fun. Stupid, but fun.
I actually watched a video that argued that it was a very good thing that it didn't, because since it had infinite ammo, players would try to use it for too long so that, you know, can I get away with it and not use up ammo, even though ammo is very plentiful in this game.
Right.
That's not a problem I ever had, but I can see other people having that.
Yeah, no, I only use the pistol to play with it, more or less.
Although, you can, modders were found that they did have the pistol still in the game's code.
Oh.
Different pistol, so they were able to put it back in with a minimum of hacking.
Sweet.
So it was planned, and it used up the bullets rather than being infinite. So I imagine they just got to a point where they're like, this thing serves no purpose in the combat flow, so we're just going to take it out. I seem to remember this combat encounter being like one of these specific points where I was like, I mean, I've been liking this so far, but I think I'm all in now.
Yeah. I probably died 3 or 4 times in this room. I definitely took a while to hit my rhythm with this game. I just had a really stupid idea for a mod. Basically, every gun swaps out your model for a different Team Fortress 2 class, including a bunch of like taunt quotes and stuff. More or less just goofy meme garbage. Oh, there we go. Yeah,
that's one of the downsides to first-person games is that having like custom skins and whatnot doesn't mean nearly as much when you typically just see like your arms.
Like in multiplayer games, it comes down to a vanity thing. It's such a handy get out of jail free card. I mean, it's not free, but yeah. I mean, neither is the get out of jail free card. You still need the card. I've never played Monopoly correctly.
Everyone has their own rules. The official Monopoly like games allow you to alter the rules to whatever you played.
Yeah, I mean, technically, the Mattel buying them or whoever was supposed to be an exercise in showing why consolidation of wealth can be eventually very bad. But it's funny because if you do play the games by the rules, it just gets into an exhaustive slog with the auction system because you're supposed to auction off every single property.
Oh, Monopoly is a terrible game. The fact that it caught on was by pure chance, and it's not. It
only works.
It's
because
over. It's over hours
rules.
Before it's actually over.
Yeah. Like, it only survived because of house rules, in my opinion. Much like Uno.
The very simplistic, very basic, straightforward games are the ones that tend to last the longest because they require no thought.
Oh, hey, it's girl.
Authorization. Olivia Pierce. Alpha 402.
So here's the bug. There's supposed to be stuff happening on the glass between us. All this like UI stuff, and it just does not show up on PC.
Wait, ever?
She is
I'm not sure I've ever seen it work on PC. If it has, I don't remember. And it's not a Vulkan or OpenGL thing. I went back and played it on OpenGL.
I'll have to do
And
some.
it doesn't
I'll have
fix
to
it.
do some research on that. That's interesting.
I would have liked it if... I know that the glass is, like, impenetrable, but it would have been nice if Doomguy at least put up some kind of effort to
Just was
get
wailing on it a
through.
little bit. Yeah.
At least let off a couple of shots.
Yeah. Well, I could just see him repeatedly punching it. What'd be really cool is if it was scripted where you break through by him, like, finally headbutting it or something. Like...
Yeah.
The meltdown.
The system won't allow anyone but Olivia to override it now. We will have to shut down the Argent Cell manually from the surface.
Yay. But that's gonna be
All right.
next time.
Yep. Oh, that's right. I missed one of the... that's the other thing I missed, was one of the
Oh.
challenges here. Oh, well. I got it off
Explosive barrels are
screen.
right that way.
All right. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.